that okay right here?
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, that's good.
In 2022, I put my like my higher end luxury flip on the market, and the comps at the moment, or then there was no comps. This was in Anthem, uh, on the golf course. The agent was like, "Let's list around like 1.5." I was like, 1.5. I'm thinking like 1.7, and he
Yeah.
said, "You're not gonna get that." I was
Really?
like, "Well, I might not get that, but if we list at 1.5, we're gonna be underselling it." Um,
You can
and
always come down.
yeah, I said, if anything, we'll come down. Like, if we don't get no activity within the first, this was like early 2022, maybe like in, what was it, like February or
It
March?
was hot,
Yeah, the market was still blazing.
blazing.
Yeah, literally. So he went through, listed at 1.7. We
Sold it.
did end up bringing it down, just to get more traction because we were getting showings, and then after bringing it down, we got an out of state offer because that's everybody that was moving into Vegas out of
Really?
state, and we ended up selling for 1.6. So if we would have listed for 1.5, I would have lost 100,000 or not made those extra 100,000. And yeah, I mean
Dang,
that
dude.
one initially I was expecting to make 50,000 because it was like it
Tight.
didn't need much.
Yeah.
But since the market was so hot, I was looking back. I was being dumb because I was just buying on um, hoping for the appreciation.
Right.
Which now, if you do that, like it's not gonna happen. But yeah, back then, so I was expecting to make 50,000. I ended up making 300,000 on that flip.
Let's go,
So
baby.
yeah, probably won't see those days for a while now.
No, I feel like those days are back.
And so yeah, with some houses, definitely not with luxury.
Okay, luxuries. That's one thing I want to talk to you like big time about
Yeah.
was luxury.
Okay.
Just because like dude, I haven't even touched luxury. Like luxury is not really like my thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't know anyone that owns luxury.
Yeah.
Like I'm completely like not even like part of that world at all.
Yeah,
So like a
yeah.
lot of my questions that I have for you are gonna be on luxury.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I think with the luxury market, I think kind of became a fad with all these. I mean, off the top of my head, I know like some of the big guys that jumped into luxury, and they were killing it. Literally, like one guy made almost $1 million on one flip,
Let's go.
and I was like, dude, like we need to be doing luxury.
Right.
So I jumped on, and luckily my first, like I said, it panned out and made way more than I was expecting. But I said it was a fad because back then, anything that you went after was gonna make you money, no matter how thin you bought.
That's one thing that I tell people all the time is like, yeah, you made money on your first deal, but like, do you know why?
Exactly.
And like most people don't know why, and they're just like, oh yeah, I made 50K, and I'm like, slow down, dude. Like, don't go
Yeah.
out buying 5 flips, but that's what people do, and
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
that works out for them too. But for the majority of the time,
Yeah.
like they learn their lessons on the next one. Like it's okay to get lucky, but you have to know like, I got lucky.
Yeah. And to go off of that, I mean, it works and it doesn't. It only doesn't work if you don't figure out why it worked. Like you said, if you never figure out why it worked, then obviously you were just being naive, ignorant. I don't know what to
Right.
call it.
Yeah.
Because it works for instance, for me, I didn't know what I was doing with like my first 5 flips. I didn't care really too much about the small little details. I just wanted to like get the momentum, get the traction going. So because for me, I learned by doing, um, and I would just look at the overall picture. Like, okay, if I buy at this price, put this much money into it, what will I come out? Um, I didn't have like a set percentage that I want to make per flip. I just said, hey, this is gonna profit. Let's buy it. But now, obviously, like you have to be a lot more precise with like what you take down, and I mean, yeah, it's times definitely have changed.
I think also like you said, you have to be more precise. Not you in particularly, like because of today's time, but I think you in particular because of like the volume you're doing. Because making a mistake on one flip is one thing versus doing a mistake on 8 flips at the same time. That's
Yeah.
devastating. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's kind of weird. Like it's not just the market; it's also like the kind of the position you're at, like the volume.
The system that you have in place for that.
Dude, I mean, not learning the lesson and making the mistake at 8 flips versus one flip, dude, that's totally different.
Yeah. 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 I mean, obviously, every dollar starts adding up if you don't take into account every little thing. So yeah, once I got the hang of like how things should be working, like and got systems in place for my personal like operation, things that I would see like I would try implementing anything that I saw other people were doing that was working for them. Like that's why going back to the luxury like market, that's why I jumped into it because I didn't do my first one on my own. It was for the investor that I work for. He decided to start taking these on,
I remember that.
and when he started doing that, I was like, okay, so this is like obviously a whole new world, and I'm learning, I'm seeing. It takes a lot more time, a lot more um, detail, and obviously more money. But like I said, the return that they were making on their investment was crazy. I was like, I could literally just do 2 or 3 of these a year, and it would literally put me up like I don't know, maybe 2 3 years advanced as far as like my gains. Um, so that was the game plan back then, and but now, like I said, I probably wouldn't do luxury just because the market's so volatile. Like
Right.
now, you want to get in and out as fast as possible, because yes, the economy looks promising, and it looks as if uh, we're getting out of the hole that we were in. But who knows? I mean, the Fed, the uh, and primarily just people in general, like emotion is one of the main controllers of the economy. So if people decide, hey, we're scared, like it's gonna halt the economy again. Um, and I mean, emotions can change from day to morning, so or night to morning.
I agree. Hold on, brother. You,
It's crazy because I always tell people about you and I, like uh, how we started out back in 2017, 18. We were like, dude, you're doing real estate, so am I. And
I remember that.
you got it. I think you became a realtor before I became a lender.
It's a
And
couple months maybe.
yeah, yeah, and you were like, dude, let's team up and see what we can do. We
Jeez.
started doing like little videos in public places to try and get some traction going. And then you brought up investing. You're like, dude, I'm reading or listening to Bigger Pockets. I picked up this book from this local investor, and I picked it up as well. And I was like, dude, this sounds like we could do it. Like, let's try. And yeah, I mean, fast forward to what, 5 6 years later, we're exactly where we wanted to be.
That's crazy, dude.
And I always tell people that like it literally only takes 5 years to change like the trajectory of your life. If you put your head down, and obviously there's no linear path to get into what you want to be doing, but I mean for you and I, it we definitely were bouncing off of everything. I remember obviously the traditional side that we were in, and then we decided to venture more into the investment. I started wholesaling with Alex back in the day, and that
Which
was
Alex?
Alex. He was your
Salgado?
roommate at the time, I think.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Alex
I don't.
Cardenas.
Yeah. I don't think you remember that, but remember you were like, dude, he's wholesaling. You want to wholesale
Oh,
with
I
him?
do remember you did that.
Yeah. So I wholesaled with him. I was like, dude, I want to get into this. Like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to
Dang,
to
dude.
learn.
That's intense.
And yeah, I was at the time I was working as a lender, wholesaling with Alex, and then I had a restaurant job at night. So I just had a baby. I had my first baby back in 2017. So I was taking those 3 things on, and that's what I tell people. Like, with real estate, it's going to be harder work, but the hard work pays off eventually.
That's true. Like I feel like that story like super like resonates with me just because like we did get started together, which is crazy, and like we're kind of like peers, like we took different paths, but we started at the same time, but we're still getting to different destinations. But like when you said that you had like 3 jobs, like so did I. I was a teacher, I was a realtor, and I was flipping also. And I remember I was working like 12 hours a day, bro.
I remember, dude, because you kept telling me like
7 to 7, 8 to 8.
You're like,
it was
I just
crazy.
want to quit teaching, man. And yeah, I mean, that's what it takes. Like there is no like if you want to be able to get into the at least for the even with traditional like to become a realtor or a lender,
right?
Like you can't just jump into it and expect to be successful right off the bat.
Yeah,
you know, obviously there's a lot of money to be made in any avenue that you take in real estate, but it requires like consistency, discipline, and learning from whoever and whatever you can. That's what I've found as far as like every successful person that I look into and try to learn from. I see that they grind day in and day out. Like there's no like specific, like I said, path to take to get there.
I feel like one of the things that I've noticed throughout the time is kind of like your network is your net worth.
Oh yeah.
Like the more you meet people that are killing it, crushing it, like just like for some reason you just like leveled up. Like, oh dang, it's been like 6 months, and like ever since I met this dude, like my life has like changed. And that's one thing that like I want to tell you about. Like I'm in Ryan's program.
Yeah.
So like I feel like you joined Ryan and worked with him like directly. That was kind of your way of kind of getting around the people.
Yeah.
And I took the route of like joining the program.
Yeah, yeah.
And I saw you accelerate way quicker than me, which was cool to see. But I was like, dang, maybe I should have done that too. But like I think at the end of the day, basically it was like, who are you surrounded yourself with? Who are you around? You know, and like not just who, like how many.
Yeah.
And like being in Ryan's program, dude, it helped me get to like where I'm at now.
Oh, I bet, man. There's so many big guys in that program, like huge.
Yeah, but like the thing that I thought of recently was like I was at the conference and I was surrounded by like 10 dudes. Yeah. But like and I was like in the VIP section where like the dudes are supposed to be like killing it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, no, they were all rookies.
No way.
They were all like 0 to 6 months in.
Oh wow, and they're in
all of them. And I was coaching all of them, helping them, and I was like, I thought in my head, like, bro, I'm in the wrong room. You know, but
wait, how are they in the VIP section though?
Because you can just pay to be in there.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool, you know, nothing wrong with that. And then when they had the separation room, like, okay, everyone that's making over 250, go in that room.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there was better conversations in there, but that was only for about an hour during the 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, other than that, I had to like seek people out, go find them. But the majority of the time I was spending was like with newbies. And I thought about it and I was like, man, like I need a different program. So I just joined a different program.
I saw that Collective
Genius.
Right? Nice, man. That's crazy because Collective Genius, I know the guys in there. A lot of them, they're like killing it with their business.
And let me ask you like a question, because like it's all about like who you know, right? And like who you surround yourself with. And let me ask you, like, how many flippers do you have in your phone right now, like that you can contact directly that are making like over $1 million?
Man, I mean, right off the bat, I can already think of like 5.
Okay, 5.
Like I can literally list their names.
Right. No, but just like a number, like around 5.
I'd say probably like around 10 or so, or I'd have to think through. But like for names, I can say for sure. Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
But
let me like that's a good thought process that I was thinking about, because I was thinking the same thing. Like, I need to surround myself with these guys, and I thought about like how many guys in my phone do I have like that are making $1 million flipping, and dude, I think it's under 10.
Okay,
it's under 10. And when the guy told me in the program, he's like, yeah, we have 150 members that are making over 2 mil.
Oh wow.
And that's like the top tier. My tier is not that. My tier is from the 400 to 2 mil.
Okay.
But even in that group, there's 150.
Yeah, that's huge.
So like imagine like I just meet a couple of the dudes going to the thing, and I end up having 30 maybe 50 contacts in my phone of guys that are making $1 million
Yeah.
a year investing.
Yeah.
Like I think that like just knowing that, like knowing them, kind of having like being able to like just give them a call here and there, and like kind of following their story, I think is I'm kind of betting that that's gonna like help me get to kind of like the next level.
Yeah.
I don't know 100% for sure, but I think that like kind of your network is like the best way to change your surroundings is kind of to change your network, like your environment.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping that like that does that for me.
Well, it definitely will. I mean, I think what I've realized with like that saying, how cliche it may be, but it's true. Your mindset's the main thing that changes. Like,
Yeah.
just because you start seeing like how they move,
Right. Right.
compared to somebody that's only making, let's say, like you said,
Like $500,000 or something.
yes, or even
$300,000
$100,000 a year.
$100,000, yeah.
You know, 100,000. It is a lot of money, but obviously there's levels to this.
Right. Like 100, $1 million, $2 million, $10 million. Like
Yeah.
all these guys have different mindsets.
Yeah.
And you're not going to know them unless you talk to them.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for instance, the guys that I have relationships with that are making the mill to hire, it's not necessarily of me picking their brains and like hitting them up. Yes, I can contact them and ask them if I need like help and advice on something, but the main like difference between those people and people that aren't hitting those numbers, I think, is just like the action. You know, they are a lot of people, I'm sure with you as well, like they reach out to you and they ask you for advice. And I have a ton of those people
Happens every
always
day.
in my DMs, you know? I'm like,
You don't even post a lot.
I know. And I'm like, why are you asking me things that you've already asked me before? And it feels like they kind of want to get their hand held.
Yeah.
And you really like can't do that. Whenever I tell people about real estate investing, it's I tell them it's a lot like if you were to hire a personal trainer.
Mhm.
Like there's only so much that they can do for you.
Yeah.
The other like 70% falls on you and actually listening and applying like the advice and everything they tell you to
Like
do.
no one's going to put in that work for you.
No, you know. And even I was watching a podcast with Graham and some guy, I forget his name, but this guy has like Elon Musk as his contact in his phone, Justin Bieber, Mayweather, and they asked him the same question you just asked me, like, do you hit them up for like advice for business and things? And he was like, no, I mean, it's more like, hey, I hope you're doing well. I hope that this guy, I think he's the guy that started the money team for Mayweather.
Right.
He's the main like guy. He said with Justin Bieber will hit him up and be like, yo, what do you think of this song? And if he
Let's
says,
go to lunch or something.
Yeah. And if he says no, he doesn't like it, Justin Bieber will literally like not
Scrap
produce.
it.
Yeah, he'll scrap the song, and then he says, then I have Justin Steve calling me like, what are you doing? Why'd you tell him this song sucks? He's like, he asked me for his personal opinion. I'm his
Right.
friend. I'm gonna give him my personal opinion. So, and that's why I'm saying like these people, it's not necessarily of like using them to elevate
No,
your
I didn't
network.
say that. Yeah,
You know, no, but being around them, like you said, that's
Right.
what I'm trying to say is you just see how their mind and how they move. You know, and that same thing with me. Like the guy that I joined, Ryan Pineda, he, I know I can go and ask him advice.
Right.
He's become a friend over time, other than me working for him. But with him, since day one, I've same thing being in like working alongside with him. I've seen how he is like unless you join his coaching program. I'm not in his coaching program, so I don't know. I decided to, like you said, take the route of working directly for him.
Right.
He's not one to hold people's hand and like it falls on you yourself, like
Right.
because nobody will take the action for you. So
I get that.
yeah, and I mean that's cool that you joined that program, man. Because dude, there's so many big guys that I follow on social media that I'm like, dude, these guys are killing it.
I'll let you know how it goes, man. And if you ever want to join, I'm probably gonna bleep this part out because I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but you know, it's $18,000 a year, like $1,500 a month.
Okay. Oh wow.
And they have 3 masterminds, and I think they're all in Florida. I forgot what city. It's not Miami. It's a different one. I forgot which one. I never been to Florida, so I don't know.
Yeah. Oh wow. So you're gonna go out there for their mastermind?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go in October for the mastermind.
I think they had one in Arizona too.
Yeah, they kind of flip around and stuff. Right. I'll stop this real quick.
A different approach to like get into this whole field. And I've primarily focused because when I joined Ryan, it was to learn like the ins and outs of what he was doing at the time. And I've definitely like felt like I've 10x my learning by being alongside him, you know. But at the same time, like there's only so much to learn in the position that I'm in that I've definitely hit like a ceiling, and I now need to also start investing a little more in myself.
Let me give you an example. Like I joined this program, and I joined last week.
Yeah.
And initially, the guy that signed me up, he's like, okay, I'm gonna connect you with this guy because he knows that I buy all my deals from wholesalers.
Okay.
He's like, we have an exact same dude in our program that does your model, and he buys 100 flips a year.
What?
From wholesalers.
Wow.
He's like, I'm gonna connect you with him so he can teach you how he does what he does.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, where else does that happen? Where else does that happen? Like, where do you even meet somebody that's like, you know? So I think like joining a program like that, like it just, I don't know, man. I do feel like it's just being there, making friends, like just being myself.
Yeah.
Just being in that room, like I think it's gonna elevate me.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I mean, in one way or another, you know, it'll elevate your connections. It'll elevate your mindset primarily, and obviously, with that comes all the perks, the money, the growth, personal development. So, yeah, no, I definitely. Let me know how that goes, man.
Dude, I'll let you know.
I have to do something because
the mastermind's in October, so like I'll keep you updated. But if you want, and they don't have one in December. They skip December, so they have it 3 times a year, and they skip the obviously because like the holidays and stuff. But yeah, man, I'll let you know. And, dude, let's hop into these questions, bro.
Okay, for sure. Sorry.
So help out the guys out here that have some questions. I don't have too many. Let's start it off. Yeah, let's start off like this. So you're in the luxury real estate flipping, and I just want to know, like, how many hours do you work a week?
Work a week, man.
Tell us the truth.
Yes. So it's a little different for me, I guess, because technically since I work for Ryan, I prioritize his business before mine.
Right.
Obviously, because he has a lot more going on. So a lot of my time gets in the day. A lot of my time goes to that. So with him, I'd say I'd work 30 to 40 hours. In mine, I'd probably work 10 to 15 hours a week. So I probably am still working around 10 hours a day or so.
10 hours a day, 5 days a week, or 6 days a week?
5 days a week.
It's like 50 hours?
Yeah. Initially, I was working weekends. Like when I was, in 2021, 2022, Ryan had like 100 plus flips going on, and I had 10, 12 at a time as well going on.
Right.
So I was working 7 days a week then.
I remember you were telling me you're working every single day. I was like, this guy's head's going to fall off.
It almost did, man. It almost did.
All right, bro. Let's go to the next question. Let's see. So we did that one. I'm just trying to think of questions where like there'd be like good reels for people to like get like good information from.
Yeah, man. Ask anything.
All right. So let me see. So next question is gonna be, tell me about how you designed the luxury flips. That's one of like the biggest issues I have is like if I were to get a major luxury flip, I'd be like, yo, I need to hire a designer.
With me, I mean, initially we started with our like we would present our idea and we would bounce those ideas off of a contractor. Having a good contractor definitely helps. But then once we started doing multiple at a time, obviously the contractors can also only handle so much.
Right.
So then we got to the point where we hired interior designers for that. And in some, I'll still use interior designers. In some, I was doing them myself with my wife. Like I would explain my wife. I'm really good with redesigning the layouts. Like if we want to open up the kitchen, open up the space, add in bedrooms, I'm good with seeing that through. But then like choosing the small details takes a lot of time. So I would have my wife help me. And even like on my stories, sometimes I'll ask for help from like my followers to see kind of like what the general population would lean towards. Because with me, like for instance, well, with everybody, I think in general, or so I thought, they were over like the gray, black, and white. But people still like that to this
Dude,
day.
it sells like crazy.
You know, and yeah, to me now that's like it's like vomit. It's so bland that whenever I see a house like that, I'm like, oh my god. But no, like
too.
like when I see people redoing their houses, they're still going for that. You know, like some friends or stories that I see on
Because
social
it sells,
media.
man.
Yeah, they're redoing their kitchen, they're redoing their bathrooms, they're going for the all black hardware, white and gray.
I think the reason they do that is because it still stands out on MLS. The majority of the houses on the MLS are the browns, are the outdated, and when you post a product that has the grays and the whites, it pops. Because out of like 10 of them, you're like the only one.
Yeah.
So like I think it's easier for people to there's 8 gray ones and there's 8 brown ones and there's 2 gray ones. So it's like easier to kind of narrow it down to those.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, for them that's modern, that's in style. Yeah, I mean it still works. For me, I actually also use Pinterest a lot.
Okay.
Pinterest, and I follow interior designers.
Okay.
As many interior designers as I can.
Oh, that's interesting.
To also get like insight from them.
Yeah.
Because their work is hard, man. I mean, it requires a lot of time, a lot of effort to put together things that look good.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I like it, but
I mean,
not to do it as a job, you know. And it's just not. I shouldn't focus on that either.
No, for sure. I agree with you. Thank you, brother. Let's see. All right, so this is kind of like a simple one. How hard is it to sell luxury real estate, like on the sales side, and also like how long does it take? Like, tell us about the sales process because I'm sure it's different.
In today's market, it takes a long time.
Like how long?
Could be 6 months, could be a year.
Heck no.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's definitely not the price range you want to be in today.
Said 6 months to a year.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've had
On market or just like total?
on market. This is not including the rehab. Obviously, 6 months from now, the market could be
Right.
Completely different for the
Yeah.
worst. You know, so I had one that sat on the market for 5 months without any offers. I have one on the market or 2 on the market, 2 luxury houses. We're getting traction, but it's nothing like solid that we want to take yet. I mean, but I know of properties that have sat on the market like a year and a half, fully remodeled, and I mean, nicely done. These are some that we did with our designers, and it's just I think what's going on is the higher price point properties, the buyers are a little more savvy versus lower price points.
Savvy how? Like, what do you mean?
Savvy as in they're just more financially, like, they care more about that, about the financials, about the economy. And I started analyzing like, okay, why is the like average home price what's selling faster? You know, I know with your properties, you're getting multiple offers on yours.
Right.
And when we last spoke, you told me that's like my price point. That's what I'm sticking to. Um, and I was like, well, I'm looking back to when I bought my first house back in 2016. Um, when I bought my property, I bought it with like a 6% interest rate, and I didn't care about interest rates. I just wanted to buy a house.
Right.
Like I was just so excited to that I finally got qualified. That my loan officer was like, "You're clear. You can finally go and buy a house."
You
And
care
that
about the
process
house.
took like 6 months
Oh my
to
god.
to be able to qualify to buy my primary residence. Um, so the interest rate was something that I didn't really look at. I was like, what can I tell me what can I afford, and I'm gonna go start looking.
Right.
Versus somebody in the higher price point, they have options. They already know they can live in any $1 million neighborhood that they want.
Across the country.
Yeah, pretty much. But the main factors for them is like, hey, obviously the interest rate being the biggest factor, I think, is what they're looking at, and the forecast of what's going on in the economy.
Do they ask for closing costs?
Yeah, I mean,
How much?
they ask for everything.
Really?
They ask for all repairs to be done. They're so much more picky as well.
Really?
Like extremely picky. They want every cosmetic. I mean, in today's market, yes, they want
Every cosmetic thing.
Yeah, they want every little detail to be buttoned up. They want credits. They want low. My last luxury property, I ended up selling 100,000 under what the appraised value was.
Really?
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's they're like I said, they're just a lot. They're penny pinchers.
What about like, so what's like the most you've paid out in closing costs on a single property?
um,
Kind of ballpark.
I think it was around 20,000. It's not. It wasn't too much, but it was definitely obviously substantial
That's a lot.
to if you were looking at like the average price
Right.
of a home.
Cool. Let's do one more question, brother. All right, last one. I would say top one, if you can, top 3 lessons that you have learned, I guess, throughout since you started.
My top lesson is something that I actually learned from a mastermind that I went to last year from a guy, an investor, AJ Osborne. He said, this was like when the market was starting to decline. He said, don't let the markets make you. You got to make yourself. And I really had to think that through. Like 2021, 2022, the market was making everybody because you could be buying anything and walk out looking like you knew what you were doing.
Right.
You know, you could be making. There was houses that I was buying with like $10,000 spreads, and I was making 80 to 90,000 when it was all said and done.
Right.
And I was like, man, I was the market was making me, you know? So I had to then go back and reanalyze, restructure like everything. I had to pretty much rebuild my business plan. Obviously, I know so many investors that have been getting wiped out with the recent market change.
Yeah, me too.
You know, it's just because investing requires like knowledge. Investing requires due diligence. So that's probably like the main thing that I've learned is you have to have a plan of attack.
Interesting. Cool. Well, that's it. That's gonna be it, brother.
Nice.
Thank
man.
you
That
everybody
was-
for watching. Have a nice one. Nice. That's it, bro.